So till the story till now we have discussed about many incident in this particular story. The name of the lesson is on saying please, and the beginning of the story we had seen that a particular person was kicked out of a lift for not using courtesy. In the beginning of the story we had seen that this particular person was kicked out of the lift because he did not say please to that particular person, the lift man. And by the beginning of the story we are learning about a number of things which are mainly included showing courtesy and showing no courtesy. So the entire chapter is about showing courtesy and no courtesy. So till now in the story we have learned about this particular person which we are going to discuss right now. Now we are going to discuss about a very kind-hearted conductor. So the author was traveling through the bus and he explains the feeling of having no money while traveling through a journey. So normally when the person does not have any money and is traveling through the bus, two things could happen. First, he could be kicked off of the bus, or the second thing is that the person who's traveling through the bus, he himself gets down. So now in this particular part we shall be discussing what happened in this particular author's life which changed his point of view about the conductors. So having searched my pockets in vain for stray coppers and having found I was utterly penniless, I told the conductor with the honest face as I could assume that I couldn't pay the fare and must go back for the money. So we come to know till here that this particular author was traveling through the bus and he didn't have any coppers. So coppers are coins, a value of coins. In some countries there are different types of coins or money, different types of money is used to travel. So coppers here we would be talking about. So the copper was actually used as currency in the British Empire. So a penny is a type of it's like a rupee. Okay, and the comparison between these two is that copper was also known as penny and penny was known as copper. So this particular penny was named as copper. So people while talking would say that I don't have any money on me, that is I don't have any copper in me. It is also the currency of Sweden. Okay, and having found I was utterly penniless, I told the conductor with as honest a face I could assume that I didn't have any money. He said that to that particular conductor while he was traveling through the bus that I don't have any money on me. So I couldn't pay the fare and I must get down and I will bring the money and then I will take off in another bus. Oh, you needn't get off, that's alright, said he. So this was actually a turning point for him. Usually when we travel through bus and we don't have any money, we are likely to be kicked out of the particular bus. Nobody will take you for free from one particular place to another place. But this kind-hearted conductor said that it's okay. If you don't have any money, it's okay. And it's okay was quite relieving for him. All right, said I, but I haven't a copper on me. Oh, I'll book you through, he replied. So he said that I don't have any money. How I am going to pay the fare? He said it's okay. I'll just book you, means I'll just take your number, or I can if you come back again through the bus, I will take it from you. Where do you want to go? And he handled his bundle of tickets with the air of a man who was prepared to give me a ticket for anywhere from the bank to Hong Kong. So this is just a saying. Actually, he said that he had met a person, a conductor, a kind-hearted conductor, who was willing to give him a ticket to travel from anywhere, from the place he was traveling to anywhere he wanted to go. And this was a kind of a strange feeling for him. I said it was very kind of him and told him where I wanted to go as he gave me the ticket. I said, but where shall I send the fare? This was the question asked by the author. He said that, writer, he said that if this thing is going to happen, if I'm going to travel for free, where should I send the money? Means the writer doesn't want to cheat him. So our writer is also a kind-hearted person. He said that instead of cheating this particular person and traveling for free, I shall send the money. Just tell me where I should send it. So this thing was quite relieving for him that he wanted to pay. So the conductor was very actually happy from inside that yeah, that this particular honest person is willing to pay. Oh, you'll see me someday, all right, he said cheerfully. So the reply was also mind-blowing for him, because when somebody is giving you doesn't have the money, he's traveling from a place to another, and when this particular person assures that I will give you the money, don't worry about this, and the The conductor is saying it's okay, someday when you'll travel through the bus again, that time you have to pay me. And this was out of he was very cheerful while saying that, relieved, and he was calm. This is actually strange for him. He turned to go, and then luckily my fingers still wandering in the corner of my pockets lightened on a shilling, and the account was squared. So, but still, this particular writer was thinking that how should I pay him, and he was searching in his particular pockets. So, luckily, it was his day, and he found something to pay, and the account was squared. The account was squared means the account was settled. So, shilling is also a British coin, and somehow he was able to pay the conductor the money required for traveling. But the fact did not lessen the glow of pleasure which so good natured an action had given me. So he was not happy because he had the money to pay. Now, since I have also been traveling through the bus, if I am traveling through the bus and if I don't have just a rupee or some money is not available to me, I will feel ashamed of myself, or I'll be in tension. How I'm going to pay this person? Maybe I'll try to find some known person on that bus and I'll try to pay him. Okay, and if I get the money and I pay the conductor, I would be happy. Okay, but the thing which was exciting for him was not finding that shilling, but it was actually the glow of pleasure was because he had met a good natured, a kind hearted person. So this particular action, the act of kindness, was done upon him, and that's why he was very happy. A few days after, my most sensitive toe was trampled on rather heavily as I sat reading on the top of a bus. So our writer was traveling through the bus, and one day suddenly somebody stepped on his feet, especially on his toe, and that toe was very sensitive one. Means there are many fingers in your leg, but there is at least one or two fingers on your both hands and leg which are very sensitive to pain. So he's saying that his most sensitive toe was trampled, means crushed under somebody's feet. I looked up with some anger and more agony and saw my friend of the cheerful countenance. So suddenly when that particular person looked up in anger, he was actually angry, but there was more pain. Means there was some anger and more pain in his words when he looked up. And when he saw the friend of his conductor friend was looking at him with the cheerful countenance. So countenance here means facial expression. So he said, "Sorry, sir," he said. "I know these are heavy boots. Got them because my own feet get trod on so much, and now I am treading on other people's." So the writer's feet were actually trodden by his friend, and his friend was wearing some heavy boots. So the weight of the shoes that he was wearing was quite heavy, and he said that I got them because many a times other people trod on my feet. Means I am wearing them because many of times many people stamp on my feet. So protect my feet, I have got these heavy boots, but unfortunately now I am only treading on other people. Treading means walking on other people's. Hope I didn't hurt you, sir. He had hurt me, but he was so nice about it that I assured him he hadn't. Assured means to take in confidence. Actually, the writer had hurt his feet really badly, but the way the conductor told him this entire story about the boots, about his feet being tramped, and everything, it was so nicely and well told to him that he forgot about the pain, and he said that no, it didn't matter anything, I didn't hurt myself, it's okay. After this I began to observe him whenever I boarded this bus and found a curious pleasure in the constant good nature of his bearing. So whenever our writer used to board on that bus, travel through the bus, and whenever he used to meet this particular conductor, the kind-hearted conductor, he used to look at his bearing. Means how could any person be so good natured all the time? Maybe at some particular time he must be angry or something. He used to look at him. He used to observe him. He seemed to have an inexhaustible fund of patience and gift for making his passengers comfortable. So he said that this particular conductor was a master in making people happy or make the people feel comfortable through their journey. I noticed that if it was raining, he would run up the stairs to give someone the tip that there was room inside. So even if he's not traveling through the bus, or if the bus is halted at some place, okay, it's not running, he would run to people and take them inside if there is a lot of rain outside. Okay, with people he was as considerate as a son, and with children as solicitous as a father. So he was very caring. So with old people he was very caring. He was like a son for the old people, and for children he was like a father. So he was so kind and considerate and loving to everybody. He had evidently a peculiarly warm place in his heart for young people. So he had somewhere peculiarly means what is it, unusual warmth in his heart for people, all the types of people. Maybe they old, maybe they like for son for them, or young people of similar age, maybe anybody. But he had this unusual warmth for everybody, and always indulged in some merry jest with them. Merry jest here means some kind of joke with him. So we don't find people, even if we are talking about a conductor here, we won't find any conductor similar to him in what is say in Indian buses. So most of the time the conductors are in India buses are always in an angry mood, okay, or they are very serious. And even if at a particular time with one of the passengers, they may be with happy or they are joking, but with the other passengers they will be somewhat serious. So he was actually looking at him unusually. How can this happen that somebody can be so happy all the time and merry all the time, and he's joking with everybody? Everybody is feeling very comfortable with him. If he had a blind man on board, it was not enough to set him down safely on the pavement. Pavement is like a footpath, path or a foot block. So if any blind man had boarded the bus, he would not only take him safely to his spot inside the bus, he would actually take him outside the bus with the same considerate kind of nature. He would call to Bill. So he would actually call Bill. So Bill here is the driver. He would call the driver in front of him, and he would tell him to wait there unless he helped that particular person across the road or around the corner, or otherwise safely on his way. In short, I found that he irradiated such an atmosphere of good temper and kindliness. Radiated means some kind of good vibes used to radiate the entire atmosphere. It would just come out him. The kindness, the love, the compassion he showed to everybody, no matter he be a very old person, aged person, a young person, or a youth like us. So such an atmosphere of good temper and kindliness that a journey with him was a lesson in natural courtesy and good manners. So people used to find the journey with him a lesson in natural courtesy. Natural courtesy means good behavior and good manners and etiquettes. So people traveling with him usually felt this kind of kindliness and good vibes outside him, which showed courtesy, good manners and good behaviors. What struck me particularly was the ease with which he got through his work. So what actually triggered the mind of this writer is that how could anybody be so easy with his work? If bad manners are infectious, so are good manners. In the earlier part, our writer said that if good people stay with bad people, they will become bad. But he's saying that if normal people will be with good peoples who show normal courtesy, natural courtesy, good manners, good etiquettes, they also will turn like them. If we encounter incivility, most of us are apt to become uncivil, but it is an unusually uncouth person who can be disagreeable with sunny people. So he is just trying to tell you one thing, that if we live with uncivil people, uncivilized people are those people who have no courtesy, no good manners, no etiquettes. So we apt means we are tend to become like them. But if it is an unusually uncouth person means impolite person who will be disagreeable to this, that if I live with such a person who is cheerful, who has courtesy, is good manners, I will become like him. So it is just it varies from people to people. It is with manners as with the weather, nothing clears up my spirits like a fine day, said Keats, and a cheerful person descends on even the gloomiest of us with something of benediction on a fine day. So Keats used to say that nothing clears up my spirits like a fine day. He says that he is so cheerful in his life that even on the gloomiest day, gloomiest means even on the day when I'm unhappy the most, I'm not happy at all, I'm very sad, I can get out through that day because I'm very cheerful in my life. Okay, it's like weather also changes, so are the spirits. Spirits means what do you say, if you are sad, you will turn out to be happy after some time. Gloomiest of us with something of the benediction. Benediction here means a blessing on a fine day. If you are happy, if you meet a cheerful person on that particular day, your entire day will change. If your day was sad, now your entire day will become a blessing for you. It will be happy for you. And so it was always fine weather on the polite conductor's bus. So here is our hero, the polite conductor's bus. So whichever people used to travel with this polite conductor, they also would feel like this particular day is like a blessing for me, because I'm traveling with this polite conductor. His energy, his natural courtesy, his good manners, his kindliness, his compassion, his love, everything used to radiate through them and make their day a happy one for everybody. And his own civility, his conciliatory address and good humoured bearing infected his passengers. Conciliatory means trying to win friendly feelings, means this polite conductor's feelings were so infectious to people that people traveling with him used to become like him. They would also have natural courtesy, good manners, and suddenly if they were showing discourtesy initially, they would try to show courtesy when they were with him. So it is infectious. In lightening their spirits, he lightened his own task. His gaiety was not a wasteful luxury but a sound investment. His gaiety here means his cheerful attitude, his cheerful bearing. People was so infectious to people that people who were traveling with them on that particular day, they used to feel very happy with them. They used to feel that it is like an investment. It's not waste of time traveling by the bus or the train, but it would be an investment for them to be happy. So I have missed him from my bus route of late, but I hope that only means that he has carried his sunshine on another road. So he has missed this particular conductor only once when he was not there. He thought that he has carried his sunshine, means he has carried his happiness, his radiating love on some another road, maybe in some another bus. It cannot be too widely diffused in a rather drab world. Drab here means a dull world. He's saying that a dull world will not understand what he's trying to do. It cannot be too widely diffusing in a rather drab world, means he will not get mixed very perfectly in this dull world, because he will stand out of the world no matter what happens. And I make no apologies for writing a panegyric on an unknown bus conductor. So panegyric is a piece of writing to praise someone highly. So he said that I have no apologies, means I'm not sorry for writing something on what is a normal unknown bus conductor, because he was so much radiating for him. He radiated happiness in him, courtesy in him, good manners, etiquettes, love, compassion, so many things in him that it forced him to write something on him. If Wordsworth could gather lessons of wisdom from the poor leech gatherer on the lonely moor, I see no reason why lesser people should not take lessons in conduct from one who shows how a very modest calling may be dignified by good temper and kindly feeling. So here this reference to Wordsworth's The Poor Leech Gatherer is actually the subject of Wordsworth's poem Resolution and Independence, or the Leech Gatherer. This is actually taken from that. So he says that I don't find it awkward or improper to take lessons from some person who's rather lower in class from me, or he's very different from me, and I don't find it wrong in taking lessons from of modesty, means how to behave, how to show good temper, how to show kind feelings, compassion and love to others. I have no I don't feel awkward about it, taking lessons from about those things from him. It is a matter of general agreement that the war has had a chilling effect upon those little everyday civilities of behavior that sweeten the general air. So chilling effect means discouraging effect. So the war has caused people to be uncivil in their life, and they have somewhat forgot to be civil in their life, and because of this they have somewhat forgotten to sweeten the general air. We must get those civilities back if we are to make life kindly and tolerable for each other. So he says that if we forget about those civilities, it would be a very drab world for us. Drab means it would not be easy for us to survive with each other. It would people are just making it horrible and intolerable for each other. So if you want to do that, we have to bring those courtesies back. We cannot get them back by invoking the law. Invoking means triggering the law. People will not get back the courtesy, the good behavior, and the kindly atmosphere by breaking in the law. The policeman is a necessary symbol, and the law is a necessary institution for a society that is still somewhat lower than the angles. But the law can only protect us against material attack. He's saying that the law can only protect us if something happens to you, means some material attack like force, somebody kicks you, beats you, or tries to kill you, then only the policeman can interfere. But what to do about that which is done mentally? Okay, nor will the liftman's way of meeting moral affront by physical violence help us to restore the civilities. Just because that particular person who went inside the lift did not say please. So this is not correct way of using moral affront. Moral affront here means offense. So he did an offense. So this particular liftman did another offense by doing physical violence with him. Throwing him out will not make him civilized person. I suggest to him that he would have had a more subtle and effective revenge if he had treated the gentleman who would not say please with elaborate. The polite man may lose the material advantage, but he always has the spiritual victory. So, a polite person may have to listen a few things, but he may prove by acting differently that he is different from that particular person. To elaborate my idea, I would like to showcase a small video clip from a very famous movie, that is Munna Bhai MBBS 2, to elaborate my idea that a polite man may lose the material advantage of beating that particular person, but he overcame his own uncourtesy, and he won it with spiritually politeness. He would have had the victory not only over the boar but over himself, and this is the victory that counts. So instead of using moral affront, offense against violence, this is not the right way. He should have treated him politely to teach him lessons. So he would have the victory, means he would get the victory with the boor, a rude, insensitive person, only by doing some courtesy towards him. The polite man's may lose the material advantage, but he always has the spiritual victory. He's saying that a polite person may have to listen a few words, but it would be good for him, instead of using offense or violence against that person, treat that particular person properly, means it is a spiritual win for you.
ऊपर के फ्लैट में रहता है और रोज सीढ़ियों से पान चबाते हुए उतरता है और मेरे घर के बाहर आते ही उसे थूकने का मन करता है और वहीं मेरे दरवाजे के बाहर थूक के चला जाता है। मन करता है साले का गला दबा दूं।
उल्टा कर, उल्टा उसको थूकने दे और रिटर्न में ना उसको एक मस्त स्माइल दे, फिर उसके सामने उसका रंगोली साफ कर।
चाकू ना पिस्तौल ना खंजर ना कोई तलवार रे, एक मुस्कान की देखो ताकत, अपना नया हथियार रे। ओ प्रेम प्यार का सबक सिखा कर रखी देश की आन रे, इंसान को सिखला के गए बस बनना एक इंसान रे।
अरे 3 दिन से उसका थूक साफ कर रहा हूँ, मैं बोलता हूँ नहीं समझेगा वो।
अबे बापू बोलते हैं सब्र रखने का, एक दिन उसको शर्म आएगी, समझा?
Sorry.
So now I comment to the lift man a story of Chesterfield. In his time, the London streets were without the pavements of today, and the man who took the wall had the driest footing. I never give the wall to a scoundrel, said a man who met Chesterfield one day in the streets. I always do, said Chesterfield, stepping with a bow into the road. So once the lift man was elaborated with the story of Chesterfield. So Lord Chesterfield was an English statesman, author, and a patron of letters. So he told him that whenever a person who met Chesterfield said that if any person would meet me and he would show discourtesy against me, I would just throw him on the wall, means I would beat him. But Chesterfield said that I would not do anything. I would not kick that person on the wall or beat him. I would just only do one particular thing, that instead of showing that scoundrel the wall, means I will not behave like him. A scoundrel is a insensitive person actually. So instead of behaving like him, I will do something like he stood on the in the street and he bore down to him, and this is a way of showing respect towards him, even if he's behaved whatever way. This is good for you. It means that I hope the lift man will agree that his revenge was much more sweet than if he had flung the fellow into the mud. So Chesterfield's story and our elaborated clip also show the same thing. Instead, if you meet a person who is showing discourtesy towards you, you should not behave like him. So there will be no difference between you and the other person. Instead of that, you show courtesy towards that person, and it will be a sweet revenge for you. Thank you.